Say hungry dogs run fast. I ain't hungry, I'm starving.
Hurt, takes the snap. He's back, he's gonna run. Jam, touchdown! Jam on Hurt!
When that cage opens up again, our teeth are snarling, we're drooling, we're ready, we're hungry, ready to hunt again.
Dallas, we hate you. Rain see the snow, the Eagles train to go. The Eagles win!
And again, and again, and again.
It ain't about them, it's about us. We play up to our potential. Each and every one of us together. Nobody can beat us, I promise you.
What is up, my brews, my bird brews? Welcome back to Speaking Birds. It's your boy Speak, and we're joined with the crew again. We got John to my physical left.
That's right, we're out here.
We're this is the first time we're recording in person. Super exciting, and we got Clayton, Clayton from last week's episode. What's up, Clayton?
What's up? Good to be here.
Man, so we talked about on the post-game pod, we went over the Saints game a little bit, but things come out after the game and we digest it. So we're going to touch a little bit on last week's game. The biggest thing, and I know you guys are hearing this for the first time, but Nick's play calling, taking over on that fourth down play, and he was later asked about that, and he said, he's going to be taking over play calling here and there, and I was just wondering, what's your guys' opinion on that?
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't know why you would assert yourself in and just decide all of a sudden you're going to call plays now, or like just let Kellen Moore do what he does best and let him get into a rhythm and call his own game.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's the whole reason Kellen Moore was brought here. We've established, over the years what Nick does and doesn't do well, and calling an offense and designing an offense, he doesn't do well. Unfortunately, he's not a good play caller. And that's the whole reason we brought Kellen in. He's one of the elite offensive minds in the league, offensive play callers. And I think Nick should really let, Kellen do his thing rather than, interjecting. But again, it's how often is he doing it? I mean, is it just in key situations? Is it talked about during the week? Do they, have something laid out that this is what we want to do in this situation, or if we find ourselves in this situation, these are our options, these are the play calls, and then he just steps in and says, no, this specific play call is what I'm looking for.
I think your points, like those two situations, I feel like are vastly different. Like if he's in meetings throughout the week, if he's saying like, hey, here's specifically what I want in this situation, versus in a key moment where Kellen Moore's cooking, he comes down and just overrides it and calls, not a successful play when we know that he's been doing it. So I think those are vastly different.
Yeah, I totally agree there. Like, I think if anything, if it's a big situation, let's say like a 4th and 2 or 1, he should just say, hey, we're going, and let Kellen Moore decide what he wants to call.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and those are situations that should be talked about before you even find yourself in that situation. Like during the week, this is stuff that you should be talking about. That way, when you get there, you know what you're doing. So it's not like all of a sudden you find yourself in 4th and 1, and it's like, what do we do? It's like, no, this whole drive we knew that we were going for it. So that affects your play call on 1st down, 2nd down, even 3rd down. If you're going on all 4 downs. So. It really matters how it's happening, if it's discussed beforehand. If Sirianni is just like busting in out of nowhere, that's unacceptable, in my opinion. Like, he hasn't earned that right. He's actually shown us that he's not the guy that should be doing that. So
go ahead. Even in the one situation where he's going to do there's the 14 seconds left, you're going to push it there and go for it. And then I said it last week, like, what do you use your last time out? Then you have maybe 9 seconds or whatever. So basically you just push it anyways to kick a field goal. Just doesn't make sense. So let Kellen do what he does.
Yeah, that one, like, rewatching the game, that one was definitely the one that I was like, man, you cannot defend this at all, this decision. The only thing I'm thinking is maybe if they do that fake tush push, they were thinking that thing was going to actually go yard. Like, they were going to catch the defense so off guard that this play goes yard. Because if not, what are you doing there? There's no other reasoning behind it or excuse. It's ridiculous.
that particular play I watched again today, and I seen a little thing on it that Dallas Goedert didn't get the play. I guess he didn't hear it right, and he didn't pick up the right block, and he wasn't even in the right stance. So maybe it would have went, but it wasn't executed.
Yeah. And I think in the offseason too, and here's kind of what I wanted to ask you guys. In the offseason, there was a lot to be made about Sirianni and Hurts's relationship. And I didn't want to harp on it too much because it's kind of like, you don't want to put like bad like karma out there and like stir stuff up. But like, is it making is there something going on? Is it making it hard for our team to make strides? I feel like we haven't like taken like strides and, built identity since what, like mid-season last year? Like, do you think there's something there?
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird because you can never really trust the Philly media, but I definitely think there's something there. You can kind of read it on Hurts every now and then when Nick's coming over and talking to him. I'm not sure, but I mean, I hope they get it together. They got to figure out some way to, work together.
Yeah, that whole thing when it came out, I was kind of, because of when it came out, like it's a slow time of the year. Philly media is looking for anything to get clicks and listens, so I thought maybe that was it. But the further along it went, the more they kept pushing it, the more it piqued my interest. And you start looking, and it's like there are some things that you look at, like with the way, and is it just the way Hurts is, the way he talks? Like, is that his personality? But he does not go to bat for his coach. Like, his coach goes to bat for him, and that is 100% correct. Like, you can't look at this team and think anything else. I mean, Hurts, this week he had questions, kind of softball questions thrown at him about the coach, and he, could have went out of his way and said, nice things about Nick or this and that, how his message is being delivered, that he's doing a good job as a CEO coach, but he didn't. It's just like, I don't know. But when the tables are turned and Hurts is throwing these interceptions, and making these horrible decisions, you got Sirianni out there on the podium screaming, "This guy is a winner. This guy is a winner. I don't want anybody else as my QB." Like, that's the difference. And, I thought it was overblown at first, but I don't know, man. And I'll tell you what, since this stuff came out, Hurts's turnover rate has gone through the roof, and I'm starting to wonder if that has something to do with it.
Well, like he's just overthinking it, or he's not confident in like Sirianni, so it's in his head. Is it? Yeah,
like maybe he doesn't trust Sirianni. Maybe he doesn't trust the game plan. Like he's playing hero ball when he doesn't have to, which is like Wentz style stuff. Like you didn't. I kind of got it from Wentz because he had nobody around him, but in this offense, man, Hurts doesn't have to be a hero. He can be a game manager and still get great stats and still look like an elite quarterback, just playing inside that game manager role. He doesn't have to be a huge playmaker. He doesn't have to be the hero. We got too many pieces.
Yeah, I agree. And to your point too, say what you will about Sirianni, and I know like we're gonna critique his playing, but he does go to bat, and that's something that I said that I've always thought that since day one, he's never said a bad thing about Hurts, and he's always gone up to bat for him. So I mean, I think Sirianni's a good guy. I think he genuinely is. I think he's got a couple like shortcomings that come out. But last week, anything, Clayton, John, I'm blabbing away here with my stuff, but anything?
Go ahead, Clayton.
I was going to say, I wanted to touch on something I had said last week that I don't think came out right. I think I said something along the lines that I don't think Hurts is an NFL quarterback. I meant to say an elite NFL quarterback. Like, he's definitely an NFL quarterback. So I don't want people listening thinking I'm just a rabid Hurts hater. I'm not. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I like the guy a lot. And I think we could do much worse at the position than Hurts.
Yeah,
but
that makes sense. Yeah,
I don't know that he's elite. Like, I don't know that he's elite. Got to prove it. And the turnover thing is incredible. It's bonkers. Like, all the stats coming out this week that if you go back, he's turned the ball over more than any other quarterback in the league, and it's the league with Josh Allen in it. It's like, wow, man.
Yeah,
that's rough.
I get like you got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. Like you're gonna try to fit tight balls in, and you might get intercepted. I mean, that's just a given. But like the fumble, I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah, you got to wrap the football. You got to wrap that football up when you're in the pocket. You know what I mean? You can't have it in your hand unless you're really. A lot of times, I don't feel like he's planning on slinging it. He's trying to get it on the ground. So if you're going to do that, I think control the football. But either way, he's got to clean the turnovers up.
I mean, on paper, Hurts had last game 311 yards, 8.2 yards per attempt, and an interception. So I mean,
and a fumble.
Yeah, and a fumble. So yeah, I guess those turnovers kind of negate it, but
the interception I do think is sort of on Devontae Smith. It was just a bad route for him. So I'll give that one to Hurts.
I can defend that. And I mean, he has what? I think it's 4 picks this season. 2 of them I can defend. So like that one in Brazil wasn't great, but AJ did slip. So if he doesn't slip, who knows what happens there? I mean, we can't say for sure. It probably still is a pick. Who knows? And then that one where that was kind of a lazy route by Devontae Smith. It's rare that you see that out of him, but those other 2 inexcusable. And there was, in that Brazil game for sure, there was 2 more that he should have had. It's just, take care of the ball. Like that used to be what he did. And now all of a sudden it's like, I don't want this to be the new norm. I'm hoping that he can overcome this, but we're coming up on almost a full year of these multiple turnover games every week. And it has to get, if this team has aspirations of going to the Super Bowl, looking at the division, I think we're going to walk into the playoffs. If we have aspirations of being in the Super Bowl, the turnovers have to get cleaned up or it's not going to happen. Like you're not going to go into the playoffs losing the turnover battle and expect to win. Like good teams are going to make you pay, and it'll get ugly. It'll get ugly in the playoffs. You turn the ball over 2-3 times and not taking it away.
Yeah, so, I mean, The huge question going into the season is who's the real Hurts? Will the real Jalen Hurts please stand up? Was it the 2022 one? Was it the 23 one? Like you said, I'm scared that this is the norm. And I hope it's not, and I hope I'm wrong. But here's a stat. Let's see. Jalen Hurts.
I got a crazy stat.
Okay, yeah, here
for Jalen Hurts. He has more tackles than Bryce Huff through 3 games.
Oh my gosh, that is embarrassing. I did see that stat. That's just embarrassing.
Is that a hot take? Here, let's try out this. We got a soundboard here.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, yeah. Just so you know they're there. Here's another one here. Now that we're talking soundboard here, like that.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
So the listeners can be prepared for that. Yeah, that's crazy. Like Huff.
Yeah, I think we need to go out and make a trade for an edge rusher. I really do. And get somebody else in here. And if they're not going to use, like, I'd hate to even say this, if you're not going to dress Devin White, trade him for an edge rusher. Try to do something, try to find something.
Yeah, I just don't know where you're going to find who's going to give up on a good edge rusher. That's just the rough thing.
If only there was an edge rusher that was on our team last year who seemingly is available.
Yeah, he's not playing right now and in a contract dispute.
That'd be nice.
Which is weird. That's another just wild story. So over $4 million and counting, that man is lost, sitting out. I guess he has until week 10 to play, or else this season's forfeit. Which would that's like right around the trade deadline. Is it the week before or after? I think it's before.
I think it's I think it's kind of funny. Like at first you're like, man, this guy's crazy. He's in Japan dressed as a ninja, and he's walking the street as the last samurai. But you're like, he's not showing up. He's kind of unhinged a little bit. But now it looks like he's a genius. He's totally in control. Has all the leverage. So
yeah. I saw this too. What do you guys think? Speaking of Deanza, Brandon Graham doesn't rule out a year 16. I don't like that. I love BG, but
he's playing well.
Yeah.
for as old as he is, he's playing well. I don't know about another year, but we definitely need to address the ends if we can.
Yeah, that's a must. I almost, well, I mean, depending on where we're at in the draft, but and what's coming out, but I would almost waste a first round pick on an edge at this point. We need somebody
for sure.
young.
Yeah, yeah.
And how he's like super loyal to guys that want to just keep going. It's like eventually you got to cut the ties.
I'll tell you what, I heard a crazy stat on him today. So the PFF grades come out every year. This man since 2016 has been in the top 15 every single. So he's been one of the top 15 ends rated in the league for since 2016, I think.
8 years.
Wow.
That's insane. That is crazy consistent. And this year he's 16th right now. He's the 16th best edge in the league right now.
Wow.
For 3 weeks. Like, he's great. Like, he's a freak at 36 years old. This guy is still doing it and doing it at a high level. So, I mean, if he wants to come back next year, we'll see. Let's just see how the season goes along and ends here before we start getting there.
Yeah, we'll table it. We'll see. I love BG. I love BG though.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. What else? Anything else from the Saints game, post game?
I got one more thing. Reed Blankenship through 3 games is, I think, first rated in coverage. As a safety, it was like 86.7%. So that's nice to see. He's becoming, quite elite.
Which is great to see an undrafted free agent, come out. That is one thing I'll give Howie flowers on. He does find these undrafted guys and takes chances on them and gets some, some gems. I mean, TJ Edwards, I wish that guy was still here. I mean, I'm happy with our linebacker play this year, but man, last year we could have used that guy bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know Bond had a bad game week 2. He missed a lot of tackles, but I thought he shirted up last week and had a pretty good game.
Yeah, I think he's either tied or he is the leading tackler through 3 weeks, even with having an off game. I
think he was top in missed tackles too, but he's always around the ball, so you're gonna miss tackles. You know what I mean? You don't get them all, but I like
slow the guy down. That's key.
You boys hear about Chauncey and Micah Parsons going back and forth?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, what was said? So Micah says, "Hey, who are you?" or something, and then Chauncey claps back and says, "Hey, I got more playoff wins than you," which something like that.
Yeah.
To that effect. I love it. I love Chauncey's being fiery on and off the field. I'll take it. And here's my hot take. Here's my hot take on this one. I want to see Chauncey turn it up. I want to see him be more fiery on the field, off the field. I mean, like, don't, try not to get penalties, but I think that, we have that force now that I want teams to fear us a little bit. And I want him in their face. That's my hot take.
And not only that, he came out and said his coverage was bad. It's his technique, and it was mostly on him. So I like the accountability.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you. I want him to bring all the smoke all the time. He did post a video on his IG, I think it was, as well. He walks into his man cave, and he's got all these different jerseys hanging on the wall signed to him that he traded with, and he's reading the messages on each of them to Parsons. And he's like, "Parsons, you just can go right here." Actually, he's like, "I want to trade jerseys with you." So, and he's showing him the walls. He's like, "You can pick the spot. You can tell me where you want your jersey to go." He's like, "I got nothing but love for you, man, but don't act like you don't know who I am."
Right.
He's like, "I'm coming at you as a man here. I'm not talking trash." He's like, "I respect you. I got no problem with you. But don't act like you don't know who I am."
Right. Yeah, that's kind of cheesy when you like act like you don't know who someone is, but you know
who he is.
Speaking of Micah Parsons, did he get extended, or is he looking to come to Philly, and what you taking?
For somebody who says they'll never come to Philly, he sure follows Philly quite a bit. Anytime Philly's doing something, Micah Parsons is coming out commenting on it. It's like he's low-key obsessed with us.
I know. I agree.
He is cheesy, man.
It's
Well, he's a CD cat, Central Dauphin cat. He played there for a little bit in high school.
Harrisburg.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, he's an elite player at his position, so. But he is cheesy. You hear that, Micah? Cheesy mofo. All right, guys, we look ahead to Tampa Bay, the Bucs. We're banged up. We got banged up in that last game, and we're heading into I'd say a good Bucs team. I feel like this will be a good test. I feel like if there are measuring sticks with Hurts, I think this week is a good one. Obviously, he's down wide receivers, but Bowles has had his number. Throughout Hurts' career, he knows how to beat the guy. We talk about Hurts' struggle with the blitz, and I think it'll be good to see if he's learned anything.
Yeah, I mean, just secure the ball. He's got to play a complete game of football. I mean, last week he got pretty close to it, but still had the turnovers. But I just like to see him have a complete game here. No turnover, ball security, and it may not happen as much because we got 3 backup receivers at this point with Smitty and AJ both out. Obviously Lane's out. I mean, we're hurting. So, but if we can get through this game, the next week's the bye, so we can get everybody back.
Yeah, I mean, with the injuries coming into this one, I mean, I think Hurts is 1-3 against Bowles all time. Only win coming last year in the regular season. 2 just awful playoff embarrassments. Just stuff you want to flush. But yeah, I mean, Bowles has had his number, but also this year coming in, he's gonna see a different Philly unit. I mean, Kellen Moore's offense is different than anything we've run here before.
Right.
Hurts is doing stuff differently this year. He is picking up the blitzes himself. It's not Kelsey doing it anymore, which when I listened to Kelsey and found out how that worked, I was just like, wow, that's dumb. Like, I get Kelsey's a Hall of Famer, but the quarterback needs to know how to do that stuff and should have been more included. It shouldn't have just been Kelsey goes up there and says what's what, and the quarterback, is second fiddle. It should be Jalen should have had a bigger part. So I'm glad this year that it's on Jalen, and he's doing a really good job. He's one of the best, quarterbacks against the blitz this year. And he's doing a good job at seeing what the defense is doing pre-snap. Motions are obviously helping him with that. But, I mean, he's the one who checked into that mesh play at the end of the game there that got Goddard wide open on that 3rd and 16. He, at the line, he checked into that. He seen what the defense was doing, checked it. Jahan Dotson, excellent pick play. Going back and watching, he knocked 3 dudes over with that pick play. And Goddard, the rest is history. Goddard streaking down the sideline on a simple, 5-6 yard crosser.
I got some Hurts stats here versus the blitz. So now that he's picking up the blitzes himself, you can arguably say that he's picking them up better. So from 2023, this is versus the blitz. He had a 63.1 completion percentage, and that is up to 72.7. Obviously, 2023 he had a 6.9 yards per attempt. It's up to 7.2 yards attempt. And then 2023 he had a 6.3 sack rate, and it's down to 5.2%.
Wait, what was the sack rate in 23?
6.3 is what it says.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, versus 5.2 here.
Yeah, he's doing better.
Yeah, I mean, he's picking it up, and rightfully so. He should have been picking the blitzes up himself as opposed to Kelsey.
Yeah, I get it. Year 2, or I guess his year 2 was his first year as a starter. I get it. The Super Bowl year, they should have started bringing him along more. Last year, especially knowing Kelsey's on his way out, don't throw it all on him at once, even though he's done good through 3 games with everything just being thrown on him. But that should have been, I thought that's kind of handled poorly. He should have been more of a piece in that. That's just a progression for a quarterback, man. As a growth, that's how you grow.
Yeah, you should definitely do it while Kelsey's there. It's his last year, so makes sense. Do it while he's there, and have him help you if you need it.
Clayton, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Do you think what we saw from Jalen Carter is Jalen Carter, or was that just like an inspired performance that that we might not see again?
I think that is him. I don't know what was going on weeks 1 and 2 there. I mean, him himself said he played trash, even though he did something last game that I have never even heard of before. So he was in for 51 snaps. He had a direct in-play on the outcome, or he had a direct impact on the outcome of the play, 18 of 51 snaps. That is the definition of wrecking an offense's day. You had one guy blow up 18 of 51 snaps.
I didn't even see that. Oh my God.
I've never even heard of that. And people are like trying to say that his game was like a Fletcher. It's like, no, dude, Fletch never did that. I don't know that Aaron Donald ever did that. I have never seen an interior lineman play like that. And going back and watching it, it stands out even more. It was just like, I've never seen a defensive tackle play like this in my life at any level, really, let alone the NFL.
I think the difference for Jalen Carter is him being pissed off. When he's pissed, he'll play better.
Yeah, and whatever had him angry coming into that game, hopefully they continue to do that. He needs to flip that switch every single time he steps on the field. And if that takes him doing the sideline antics and, being chippy and talking smack, dude, whatever it needs to get him into that mind space to make him that freak, do it. Please.
Completely agree. Yeah, completely agree. And you got to give it to Fangio a little bit too. He definitely answered the bell and had his unit ready on Sunday. I know. I think I was hating a little bit, but I think he definitely got Carter ready. So
yeah, no, and not only that, he did something that we haven't seen here in a couple years from our coordinators. He actually made a huge change on his scheme. He game planned for what they were doing. If you go back and watch, there's way more 5 and 6 man bear fronts out there because he knew that that's all they really were doing. They were running the football and then max protect, on your pass plays, play action in that. So he's like, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to beat your run game, which is beating everybody else, and bet that my corners can shut down your receivers. And they did. It was an excellent game plan. Like, man, that was. That was good stuff.
He basically brought Braun on the line of scrimmage a lot and overloaded it, if you will.
Yeah. Yep. That bear front, man, and it was just eating them alive. They had no answer for it. And not to go back and kick to kick a guy while he's down, but Bryce Huff's snaps were way down, and I think that also had a huge impact on the run game. Because God love him, he cannot set an edge. You go out there and watch him, he doesn't know what he's doing. Watch Brandon Graham set an edge, and then watch Bryce Huff. It's like watching two different animals. You have no idea what Huff's doing. Huff has no idea what he's doing. Like, this guy is legit one of these, all he can do is a one-trick pony. He can pin his ears back and get at the passer. I don't know that he'll ever be good enough to be an all 3 down, piece. Like, he's going to have to be a rotational pass rusher, and it is what it is.
I mean, but what is it? Is it coaching? Is it just like he doesn't have the ceiling for that? I mean, honestly,
looking at it honestly, and this is a huge deal, and not many people talk about it. I think this guy lost his confidence, man. I think Vic Fangio, because Vic is like very open, and they were asking him throughout camp, how is Bryce Huff coming along? Is he, do you think he's able to be a 3 down? And Vic just kept saying no, but he's getting there. I'm hoping that he'll get there, but he kept saying no. Like, this guy's not ready to do what we brought him in here to do. And through the first 2 weeks, you've seen it, and Vic finally was like, all right, well, he's a liability out there all those snaps. So we're just going to cut his snaps down, put him in the position, where he's going to be most successful. And that's just strictly pass rushing. And maybe he can develop. The first things first, he's got to get his confidence back. And I think that'll come if he starts getting to the quarterback here, get a couple sacks,
Get a
Get your
tackle.
confidence back. Yeah, no, that's it.
Get a
And as
goddamn
crazy as that
tackle.
sounds, that's 100% true. Dude, just go out there and do the small things.
Yeah,
Get your confidence back.
It's like basketball, you know. If you just gotta see it go through the net, get some confidence.
Yeah, and he looks like a player that has no confidence, and it's snowballing on him. So I don't have high hopes for him. I'm just hoping at best we can get a okay pass rusher. But did you guys see Sweat's Sweat has, I think, the highest pressure rate in the league, or the third highest, or something like that. I could not believe that when I seen that. I don't know. I never really noticed him getting in there. So I mean, we're pressuring pretty good. We're just not getting sacks.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. That last play in the Saints game, I think that interception is because of Sweat and BG's pressure right there. I mean, obviously, they make him throw it early. He throws a bad throw because he throws it off his back foot.
Takes the hit anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, he was hurt too.
Oh, he was. Speaking of hurt, we beat up Alvin Kamara, man. He was a participant. He's peeing blood this week. I guarantee you, man. We were sticking him. His ribs and chest, I guess, were destroyed.
I like that though, because he's kind of had our number for a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's definitely embarrassed us a few times.
Man, that was such a chippy game. Like it
really was. It was like a rival game. Like I didn't understand why it was so chippy, and the cheap shots and weird stuff going on in that game. It's like, what is going on here?
Here's something crazy. I was reading who was limited and out in practice, but I guess the Mekhi Becton injury was a finger injury. It's like, that's kind of weird. You left the game over something finger.
Yeah, like that's an extremity. You can try that.
Tape it up.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, no, here, hold on. Let me tell you.
Dirt on it.
Let me tell you something about this injury. He tore the tendon off of his ring finger, and his finger was just flopping around like a floppy appendage, dude. He had no control over it.
Tape it up.
And he said that he couldn't get he couldn't really anchor with his hand. Like it was just.
I guess that makes sense.
So he's supposed to be back this week. They're saying Lane Johnson is progressing through. Like he hasn't cleared, but he's been out at practice the last 2 days.
Yep, he was working with a trainer on the sideline. He wasn't in actual practice. And then what's his name? Landon Dickerson was limited too with a wrist injury.
Yep. He was back today. Full participant. So was Becton. Becton was a full participant today too. Good. I think. And Lane was out there, I guess, doing phantom reps behind Fred Johnson, coaching him up too and taking some mental reps. So we'll see. I mean, if Lane can't go, it's not great. I did really, really like what I seen from Fred Johnson. So if it's just Fred Johnson, I'm okay. I mean, Steen was really good too, if we want to be real. I think both those guys came in and played great.
You lose anybody else and you're real thin there. Yeah, we'll have another one of those 30 offensive line changes seasons again.
Yeah. Who was that? Who was in that line when it was like a rotating cast? That was
that one guy. Remember, I was telling you about the guy who sacked Wentz and was fixing his gloves.
Oh my gosh! What the heck was that guy's name? Yeah. Oh man!
God, he was terrible.
He was horrible. He got cut the next day.
Yeah. Rightfully so.
He was cut the very next day. They didn't even
Yeah.
Oh man.
That was his highlight tape. Him sacking his own quarterback and him fixing his gloves. Pathetic.
Yeah, man, those are some bad times.
That guy's not welcome in Philly.
No.
Oh, no.
Man. So I think for this game, I think Hurts doesn't have to be spectacular here. He has to protect the football. He's got to just be positive plays, and I think our defense, if we continue to play well on the line, as well as some smart coaching by Sirianni. I think if we can nail those three things, we're going to be okay.
I agree with that. I think we need a heavy dose of run, slow the clock down, keep it, or not slow it down, but speed it up, keep it running. And, maybe we got Goddard, but like as far as our receivers, hopefully we can get Dotson in a damn game. And then I said they might elevate John Ross, and there was another guy, I can't remember his name.
Paris Campbell's still down
Paris
there.
Campbell's activated.
Paris Campbell, yeah.
Okay. Then that would be their other call up. They only get 2, so if they bring John Ross up, which would make sense because they signed Stoll off of the practice squad, so they don't have to bring him up anymore.
Right.
So
Are we worried about AJB? I mean, I know hamstrings nag, but like, I don't know. Like,
honestly, I think they're just, with the way the schedule is here, I think they're just erring on the side of caution, so this doesn't hopefully come back. If the bye week wasn't week 4 or week 5, I think maybe we see them kind of, trying to push AJ into this game, or at least, they have more urgency to get him into this game rather than, they can look at this and be like, we just got to squeak through this. You take a look at the division, nobody's, beating, the world down right now in our division. So if we do go down and take an L, it's not the end of the world. You're looking long-term rather than short-term on this. You do want to stack W's in the NFL. I mean, that's 100%. It's not easy to win a game in the NFL, but the way the NFC East is looking, it's better just to err on the side of caution. And I think that's what they're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
I seen a stat going back to these concussions that like it was like 90% of players that are injured in a game with a concussion usually don't make it back the next week. And receivers, I think, was like 1.4 week average that they make it back, so like a week and a half.
All right.
Yeah, I figured when Smitty's helmet came off like that on that hit, he was done for next week. That's why no matter what. I mean, even if he wasn't concussed, I didn't think he was coming back. But
just to protect his mental.
Yeah.
What? Bucs last week were sacked. Or Baker Mayfield was sacked 7 times, and they're kind of running with a like less than mediocre offensive line, and I'd love to see us take advantage of that and just really establish ourselves as this dominant defensive line. I think we can do that. What do you think?
Yeah, I honestly 100% believe we can. I think we can do what we did last game, only I think we can get to Baker. This offensive line's banged up this week. I don't know if you guys seen, the Bucs have 16 guys on their injury report, which is insane.
Yeah, it was long. It was reading a book. Yeah,
their offensive line is banged up. And honestly, the only thing they really have on that line is Worth, at the left tackle, and he is elite. Whoever's lined up on him, it will be shut down all game, I imagine. I mean, that's the type of player. He's Lane Johnson-esque. So, but the interior of that line, they have a rookie starting at center, first-round pick. Can't think of his name. He's banged up too, but he's sweet. I mean, Carter should be able to get through there. Both their guards aren't great. Their right tackle, not great. So, I mean, this is a matchup that I think if our line plays like it did last week, we're going to get there. Now, we may not get 7 sacks. We may not even get 1. I mean, just the way it's been going. But I guarantee you we're going to affect the quarterback
Pressure.
in this one. Yeah. We're definitely going to get, I think Quinion gets a pick this game. I think we're going to have Baker back there running.
Ooh, what was that?
Yes, sir.
It all starts with Bryce Huff getting a tackle.
Yeah.
Please.
Once he gets his first tackle,
Let's get him out there on the first series. Let's get him out there and get him a tackle. Let's go. Get him started.
Yeah, like it's like one of those like Make a Wish where you see like the the team gets to like shoot a 3-point in the final game of the season. The whole team's just holding the player up so Huff can come over. Oh my god.
Man. Yep.
How about this? Saquon Barkley leading the league in NFL rushing yards.
I love it.
Yeah, he's up there with I think he has tied for the most touchdowns as well in the league.
Here's something I said. I think it was just me and John on this episode, but for the first game, I kind of didn't critique Barkley, but I kind of he was kind of running into his blockers, and I saw a really good video of a play from the Saints week last week, and he kind of pressed the block, and they kind of broke it down in the sense that, hey, he's doing that so the defenders have to, like, they don't know where to go. So it's like it. I don't know. I think I was being a little overcritical, and I think it's definitely something great that he does, and it showed on that highlight that I saw. Say, man, he's just so good, so good. Yeah, that was just me rambling about
No, that's something people don't realize, like how big of a deal that is for, like, it's almost more of a big deal than having a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield. I would almost rather have a running back that can pick up blitzes and blocks, to, keep them in for pass protect rather than send them out, on passing plays, because that's a big deal, especially, last year we were missing that, and it would have been a helpful tool in Wentz's tool bag there if he would have had a running back that could stay back there and help pick up these blitzes, because the offensive line was not picking them up. Hurts wasn't seeing it. It was a nightmare. We watched it. So, I mean, that's an underrated ability, and Saquon's one of the best in the league at it.
Yeah, I also seen with the lack of receivers, they're predicting Will Shipley should have some more reps at receiver, which I like.
Yeah, I'm with that. Let me ask you guys this. So, with everybody being out here, the top two guys, I should say, being out here, do you think that this is a good thing for Hurts? I mean, I don't know if you guys notice, but like if he doesn't trust you, you could be wide open and he's not hitting you. This is going to force him to play and throw to guys that he's not used to, he doesn't trust. And I'm really, really excited, actually, to see how this ends up for him. I'm hopeful that this is going to be a positive for him, and he's going to show people, like, look, dude, I don't need the weapons, really. Like, as long as he plays inside of the system and takes care of the football. I hate that we have to keep saying this, but it's the truth. He has to take care of the football. I'm excited to see what he does with this backup crew, and I bet you he grows from it. I'm hoping he grows from it.
Yeah, you raise a good point. It's almost as if now that he's not looking for AJ and not looking for Smith, he can kind of take his time. If everyone's equal, in terms of who he wants to get the ball to, maybe he starts to see different things.
Mm-hmm.
I think you nailed it on the head there, Clayton. That he has to play the system. Because he doesn't get a ton of reps with these guys. I mean, obviously in practice and stuff like that, but like in the game, you just got to throw it when he's supposed to be there, whoever it is. So I think that's
and taking what the defense is giving you. That is going to be the biggest thing this week that he needs to do. If he just plays inside the system, like you said, and he takes what that D is giving, he hits the guy that's open. Because I'm telling you right now, Kellen Moore will scheme dudes open. I've seen it all 3 games. I'm a huge fan of Kellen Moore. I love his offense.
That's because you're a Cowboys fan.
Dude, I hate saying it, and I hate his face still. When I see him in pressers, I'm like, man, God, I hate this face. But but no, I'm a fan. I can't take away what he did down in Dallas. I mean, the number 1 offense, every year that he was there, and it was like a sickening offense too. It's like, I hate you, Dallas. But no, watching what he's doing with his scheme here in Philly, it's slightly different. But it's working, man. And if Hurts can just stay inside that system, just take what they're given, I'm telling you, this defense is not great. It's like not good. I think it's in the high 20s in rush defense and like maybe mid 20s in pass defense, or maybe middle of the road in pass defense, something like that. They're not world beaters. This is a defense that can get got. I know Todd Bowles has had Jalen's number, but I think Jalen can go down there and really open some eyes if he just plays within the system. Doesn't get careless, doesn't try to play hero ball, run the football, short, high percentage passes, take shots when you have them. It's very possible we can go down here and win this game without AJ or Devontae, and the offense could look good doing it.
I agree. Let's play hypothetical here. Monday morning, Eagles are 3-1. How you feeling?
Feeling great. If we go down there and win, and we're 3-1 going into the bye, with all the injuries that we had to overcome the last 2 games here, I'm feeling great. That's more than I could ask for. And honestly, I mean, even that one loss, it hurt in the moment, but like the further we get away from it, looking back on it, I don't hate it as much. Like that was definitely a poorly, a poorly called game by Nick, not taking points. The defense epic collapse there, nothing good, but it's not as bad as what it seems. So I'm 4 weeks in, we are 3-1. I'm okay where we're at with this team.
Flip side, Monday morning, we're 2-2. I'm feeling bad.
For me, I think it's cancel the podcast.
Cancel. I'll cancel my my New Orleans tickets, my flight.
I'm done talking about it. It's gonna be a shit week. So,
all right. Well, here, let's do this. I wrote these down, so I'm gonna use them, and we'll do some over unders, guys. Over under Hurts turnovers. I'm gonna set it at 1.
I think he has probably 1. I mean, seeing what we've seen.
So you're taking the over. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
You're taking the over?
Yeah, I think so. Unfortunately, I hate to say that, but
yeah. What about you, Clayton?
I'm taking the under. I think Hurts is going to come out and play inspired football this weekend. I don't know why. I'm just feeling it.
Yeah, I love it. I'm like, yeah, maybe I'm feeling it too. We got sacks. Our defense, how many sacks? I got the line set at 1.
I think we're going to go over, and I think Bryce Huff.
You got Bryce Huff. Yeah, you got Bryce Huff. Yeah. You got Bryce Huff on the sack?
Yeah. I think this is the game for him.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. I hope so. I hope you're right on that.
Tackle.
It starts with a tackle. That's 100% right. That's 100% right.
And if Huff has a career game, which will be 2 tackles and 1 assist, we're gonna come back to this, and it'll be great.
And a half of pressure.
Yeah, maybe a deflection. Deflection would be out of this world for a guy like that. All right, and I'm gonna do. How many times does the broadcast mention Rondé Barber? I'm gonna set it at 3.
I'll take the under.
Yeah, under.
I hope they don't even bring his name up.
I pray it's the under. Pray it's the under. I can't stand either Barber.
True. Yeah. Me either. And I'll take the under as well on that one. Because got to be positive.
I know, Clayton, you said you had a bunch of stuff written down. Anything we missed?
I do have a hot take, and this, I don't know if this will trigger anyone, so let me just get it out before. I think the defense has outplayed the offense through 3 games.
The what?
Yeah.
All right, that's the last time. All right, so you're saying that's all right. So you're saying the defense has outplayed the offense?
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that because they're way up there in the red zone D. They were bending and not breaking there for a while. But the last game, I mean, they were elite.
Yeah. And I mean, it's not only that, like the last game aside, even game 2, they'd only given up 15 points up until that collapse, that drive, which it's unexcusable. And that definitely should take your street cred down a couple notches doing something like that, giving that up, 100 yards in 20 seconds. That's ridiculous, man. But no, I mean, if you go back and look, how many bad spots has this defense been put in due to turnovers or weird stuff? And they come out big, man. They show up big. And it's like the offense keeps putting them in bad spots and they keep bailing the offense out. And that's been the story this entire year. The offense has done enough to win 2 games through 3, and the defense has kept them in every single game, barring one epic collapse, which we still were in that game if we don't turn it over there at the end. If Hurts just hits somebody underneath, we still had timeouts. We still had time. Maybe Jake Elliott hits that field goal, and we're good on that Atlanta game. But honestly, looking at it and, rewatching all the games and stuff, that's a hot take, but I think the defense has maybe outplayed the offense so far through 3.
Yeah, I agree. I'll give it to you. I think so.
I don't even think it's such a hot take. I think it's just
really
actual at this point. Yeah.
Yeah,
Online killed me for that. Called me an idiot.
really.
Yeah, dude. People were going at me on some of these Facebook pages I'm on. I'm like, God, what are you guys? All right, maybe I am wrong, man. Maybe let me go back and reassess.
Who are their names? Who are their names, Creighton?
Keep the receipts.
I'm gonna start taking receipts. 100%.
We should do that. We should do that. We should all compile a list of people we argue with on Facebook groups throughout the week, and
We'll bring them up on the podcast.
bring them up and
Spam them.
find a way to tag them. Oh, you wanted to shout someone out, John? You wanted to shout? We have a listener.
Oh yeah, we have a listener in Alaska. So whoever that is,
in Alaska.
Oh,
shout out.
So shout out. Yeah,
Make yourself known.
Make yourself known. Email speakingbirds@gmail.com. We'll get a number up. I have to work on getting a line so we can have some voicemails and stuff.
Yeah, we'll go down and get a burner.
Yeah,
Off the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Drop us a line.
All right, guys. Well, look, anyone feel good about a prediction? I gotta say, I was right last week. We won by a field goal. So
You're right.
But anybody feel strongly about it?
I think we go down and win. I do. I don't like having all the injuries. That scares me. But I do think we find a way to win games. I mean, like I said last week, we're always in games. We're never really getting like blown out too much, especially this year. So,
yeah, I'm with you on that. We've been in games. Even if you go back to last year, really, there were only 2 games last year that we got, beat down in. Everything else was close, and we were winning a lot of those close games. I feel good about this game. I don't know why I do. Like I said, I have a really good feeling that Hurts is going to go down there and play within the system, and he may turn a corner, and maybe this will be good for him, and he'll realize, hey, we can play like this and we can win. We don't have to play hero ball. But I think we go down and win, and I'd say we win by a touchdown. That's how confident I am. But I will say this. You asked me how I felt about this team last week. I said nervously optimistic. Just to touch on that, I need this team to go out and curb stomp somebody. Like, I need that. I need to see that before I'm fully
100%.
riding with this team 100%. Like, yeah, dude, we're back. I want to see a curb stomping. When's the last time we went out and curb stomped a team, man? It's been since 22?
Well, yeah, to your point, John, and also your point, I forget who said this. I think it was like Rube and Frank. But we haven't won by 2 scores. Or no. Was it 2 scores or 2 touchdowns since the Miami Dolphins game?
Yeah, that's right.
2 scores. Yeah, 2 scores, I think.
Yeah.
2 scores, yeah. So yeah, I need that. I need a beat down. I'm gonna go 24-20 Birds.
I'm just completely terrible at picking scores, so I don't even want to. We win.
You win.
Yeah,
We all win.
that's where I'm at.
You win. Eagles win. We all win.
I need the Vegas vacation casino where you just pick higher or lower.
Yeah.
I mean,
Money line.
Pick a number.
You're a
pick
money line guy. You're a money line guy.
That's where I'm at. 50-50 odds.
All right. Well, guys, we're going into week 4. John, anything else? Anything else?
I don't think I have anything. I think we got through what I had.
Clayton?
No, we touched on everything that I was hoping to touch on. Well, let me just say this, before we get out of here. Something that Eagles fans out there, if you're not riding with them, the team yet, you're still worried about the stuff you've seen in 23. Just remember, this team's still growing. What this team is this week is not what it's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 weeks down the road. It's not going to be that. I know people aren't touching on this enough. We have 2 new coordinators yet again, and it takes a while for everything to mesh and for the players to grasp everything and everything to come along. Through 3 weeks, I haven't really noticed that we have 2 coordinators. It's not glaring like it was, or 2 new coordinators. It's not glaring like it was in 23. So there's a lot to be optimistic. I feel like that post pod, the victory pod, just felt like a pessimistic pod when we should have been optimistic. Like
we should have been, but I don't know. I think I feel like you're partly talking to me because I am that Eagles fan that's like I've been hurt. I've been hurt. Like I don't know, it's like the collapse, and I know I shouldn't hang on to it, but like when do we stop growing? When are we there? When do we get to have fun with this thing? It's like the sports car that you're working on for 5 years. I never get to take it out and drive it because I'm always trying to improve it. I have to swap out parts, and like when do I get to drive it and have fun with it?
That's a great analogy, and that's I agree. I understand the frustration, and the hope is we come out of this bye healthy, and that's the sports car coming out of the garage, man. You just hear the engine rippling.
Now, is that the Tesla Cybertruck?
You get
John.
No, I did have that thought too. I think I was just driving. I was like, that podcast did seem a little down, but no, we did celebrate the win. But
yeah.
there's always things to critique, and I feel like that's going to be the first thing that you focus on because you want to fix it. You want to, I don't know. But
that was an emotional game again. Another one of those nail biters. Some very bad decisions by the head coach. That gets you angry, gets your blood going. But no, I just wanted to, my first time on the pod with you guys, I didn't want to everybody to think I'm some pessimist or anything like that. Like, nah, dude, I'm an optimist.
Yeah. I agree.
Until the wheels fall off.
it's true. Yeah,
I'm pulling, I'm pulling for the birds. Like, I'm with you. So, that collapse last year, like even it took until I guess the Giants game for me to really be like, okay, that's it. That's it. We're done. It's over.
Dude, I still believe until the Tampa Bay playoff game. I'm like, we're going to turn it around.
I was such a fool.
Turn it around.
I was such a fool.
And I was like, this is a disaster.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, yeah, good having you. Like I said, we'll do this. We'll see it. But you guys, are we post gaming it? You'll be on a flight.
Yeah, but you guys can without me.
Well, let's for this week. Let's do Monday. Let's do Monday. That way we can digest some stuff. I don't know. Clayton, are you around?
Yeah, I should be if we can do it a little bit later on in the day.
Yeah,
that's fine.
Sure, 100%. Yeah, let's do Monday. Let's let everything digest. And thanks for the combo. Let's get a dub.
Yes, let's go.
Go Birds.
Go Birds. We'll see you. All right, later.